Hey, it's Tim.
And it's Amy from GoWithLess. Welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about our version of YOLO. If you don't know what YOLO stands for, you only live once. And often it's done in like kind of unhealthy terms. We're going to be trying to do the positive side of YOLO in today's video. I hope that you'll stay tuned. Every single Wednesday, we come out with a new video. Often it's about early retirement, budget travel, house sitting, travel hacking, things like that. I hope that you'll subscribe over here if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell. Give us a quick thumbs up. Let's get started, Tim.
So we're going to start today's video by, reintroducing ourselves. If you don't know anything about us, we retired about 4 years ago in our late 40s, and now we are in the process of becoming full-time nomads. We're selling all of our things, including our home, our cars, our furniture, and we will be nomadic starting in January. At least that's our hope, assuming our home sells quickly.
And you see behind us on our kitchen table, things have been askew back there for a few weeks because we are actively getting rid of all of our stuff. And we're going to be doing a whole video about that process because it has been humongous, not just physically, mentally. It has mentally been so humongous for me. I cannot wait to do that video, but I'm waiting till we're on the other side of it because we're kind of still in the middle of it, and we appreciate all the questions that we get about it, and we will be answering those in that video. So
I think Amy's really into rebranding things. So if you remember earlier, we talked about potentially rebranding retirement. So I think we collectively are interested in rebranding this YOLO concept. And so like Amy said, YOLO tends to be associated with impulsiveness and making poor decisions. We are wholeheartedly behind the concept of YOLO. The fact that you only live once, I don't think there is a truer phrase that could be said. So we only have this one life to live, and that's why we made all the non-impulsive decisions years and years ago throughout our life in order to get where we are so that we could have this life of freedom that we have now.
Yeah, and YOLO often is tied to consumption, overconsumption. Maybe you get a nice tax refund. YOLO, spend it on a vacation. Maybe it's kind of late and you have to go to work in the morning. YOLO, let's do shots. Maybe...
Actually, Amy said tax refund. When she said I thought she was going to say tattoo. So maybe if you YOLO, you get the tattoo. So for us, this impulsiveness, these things you might do, just in the heat of the moment, typically, again, bad decisions. Maybe tattoos are well thought out and great decisions, but that would probably not be a good decision for us.
I'm talking about financial overconsumption, physical overconsumption, and Tim and I have certainly made our own YOLO mistakes, our bad YOLO, and not so much in the finances. We have seriously overbought. We haven't overspent. We bought way too much stuff. We always stayed within our budget, so it stayed to our budget, which, I don't know, there's like some fine line. It still wasn't a good idea seeing what's going out the door for free now.
In terms of our spending.
Yeah.
We made plenty of poor decisions. I don't know if they were all impulsive and that we would have put the YOLO hashtag associated with something that we bought, but we made lots of poor decisions along the way with our spending.
But most of all, we've made the poor YOLO decisions with what we're eating and maybe with what we're drinking.
Yeah, probably so. Definitely.
And part of it is because when we're speedy traveling and we're going to these fantastic new places, we're eating the amazing foods of these new places. We're having the incredible langos in Budapest. We're having the gelato frequently in Italy. And we're having the chimney cake in Prague, kind of things. And it's one thing if you're going to have it like every once in a while, but we travel all the time. So to be indulging, it's definitely catching up with us. So we're needing to rein that back in. In our near future, we're going to be slower traveling, and we're hoping, we've been talking about it on our channel for over a year. We are trying to get our eating more in control. I don't know. We're having a hard time with it because we don't have a routine, I think is the big one.
So we have great discipline with our money, not great discipline with our eating and drinking for that matter. There's a great phrase from Dave Ramsey, and it goes something like...
You don't know.
I don't know.
Live like no one else, so later you can live like no one else. That means having the discipline to make the tough financial decisions up front so that on the other side, you're able to enjoy a full life. Now, here's the problem, and here I think is where the naysayers come in, and it's a valid-ish point. What if you don't live to see the fruits of your labor? We certainly understand that. But the statistics are kind of with you that you will not have an early death. I mean, certainly some people do, but I'm not going to be banking on my life being cut short or my health being cut short and making bad decisions at the front end so that I don't have the kind of freedom that I have now. We are really happy now that we made those tough decisions back then to save and put away our tax refunds and things like that.
We have to say about this, or at least I believe, so these weren't tough decisions for us. They were decisions that we made, but they weren't tough. So we still had an amazing life as we were working. It's just we had this burden of having to go to work all the time. So we read something recently about people that are frugal or in this fire space, that they live a monastic life. And so that is far from the life we've led or the life that we're leading now.
Or the life that we would recommend anyone to lead.
That's exactly right. So it's basically, if you want to be a monk, go be a monk. But you don't have to do that in order to have a fire lifestyle.
And actually, I'm going to link that Post article. Is from the New York Post, and it talks about some hardcore fire people. Anybody who is reading this article would not have any, like 99.9% of Americans, and really probably internationally, would read this article and say, no way, Jose, this is ridiculous. I am not signing up for this. I'd rather work. Well, they pick some real doozies, and this is not representative in any way. So it makes it like you have to live a sparse life. Well, we're saying live a full, fabulous life. We did before we retired. We do now. And we're not saying to not live a fabulous life, but is your fabulous life really spending extra money that you may not have? So do you take a vacation? Look at your budget. Can you afford it? When you have the tax refund come in, would it make sense to pay down debt if you have debt? Is your car kind of on its last legs and you may need to be replacing your car? Maybe don't spend your tax refund on a vacation if you may be needing a car or if your emergency fund isn't stocked.
And Amy said something earlier. I'm going to say that there is this perception that this kind of monastic lifestyle, this aint, spendin, rice and beans, that this is a part of the fire movement and a part of the things you have to do in order to have this lifestyle. We are here to tell you that that is certainly not part of our purview, but there is a subset of the fire movement where people think like this, and certainly that is not something that we don't believe that. However, there are plenty, I think, that do think like that think that you have to have this lifestyle of not spending any money at all in order to get to the other side where you can still not spend any money because of whatever reasons. But nonetheless, we are here to say that there are amazing things you can do while you're earning money, and there are amazing things you can do after you have the freedom to do whatever it is you want to do.
And so for us, YOLO means living your best life every single day. Do you have to be living so sparsely throughout your life to get to fire? No, that's not the YOLO we're talking about. Do you need to make bad decisions up front because you only live once and let's do it kind of with bad decisions? No, not that either. So YOLO for us means take every single day, live the best life that you can, look ahead toward the future so that you have financial freedom, early retirement if that's something that may be in your future. But certainly financial freedom is a great goal for anybody because it gives you options. It gives that freedom that is worth everything.
Couldn't agree more.
What we want to know from our audience today is, where are you super disciplined in your life when it comes to this YOLO concept, and where could you use a little help? I have already said we both have a problem with the unhealthy eating habits, and let's see if that improves in 2020 because it was a hard fail for most of 2019.
Yeah, and I think we have lots of excuses this year because our lifestyle is going through all these changes, but maybe in 2020, we'll come up with new excuses. I don't know.
I hope
maybe
not.
We'll get better.
Let's go with the YOLO of like, you only live once. Let's take good care of our bodies so that they take good care of us.
Let's give it a go.
Yeah, so you get to see it live happening on our channel. There's our video today. We're coming back at you next Wednesday. Adios.
Adios.